to them peacefully for some time, but then I noticed some spoiled boys who were continually giving a hard time to the college girls. They used to tease them, standing by the roadside. I decided to teach them a lesson. One day, a girl complained to me that two boys stopped her on the path, chased her, and made her life miserable. I summoned those boys to me at the library, and I gave them a warning. I asked them to desist from what they were doing, plaguing the college girls. They were adamant, though, and they said they would do whatever they wanted, and I could do whatever I wanted to do about it. Within the college campus there was a lot of security, so I couldn't put any plan into action there. There was a local bus stand nearby, where the girl who had been teased used to catch a motor rickshaw to get home. I went there, and saw one of those boys approach that girl and start making rude comments to her. The girl looked at me in a very piteous manner, so I decided I had to take some bold action. I walked up to that boy and the Hegru gave me the strength to hold him by the collar and give him a big punch on the nose. That boy fell at my feet immediately. I was wearing sports shoes, and in the full presence of all those people at the bus stand I went ahead and kicked him. I beat him so badly that one of his front teeth got broken. He didn't even fight back, as I suppose he couldn't imagine in his wildest dreams that some girl could hit him and teach him a lesson. It was a usual practice that girls used to take everything silently. I say firmly now that not only boys but girls, too, were to be blamed for the sad state of affairs. They took everything too quietly. As for the other boy, his companion, he left the area and was never seen again. There was a professor of my college at that time who was a witness to that whole episode. He came up to me and, patting my back, he said, "You are a brave girl. If you can teach these boys a lesson in front of these people, you might accomplish a lot if you had proper training." It turned out that the professor was not only the well-wisher of the Singhs but one of them. He did everything stealthily, and no one knew of his involvement. As I was always looking for the right man to guide me, I said to this professor, "Sir, I want to do something. I want to ask for some answers from the police. I want to know why they are killing so many innocent people. Please guide me on the right path." That professor said, "Well, if you want to just ask that question in an honest way, in a peaceful way, that simply means that you will be dead." I said, "If the police can martyr all these young boys who are a good match for them, I would be just a small prey before them. I am just a helpless girl." Professor knew what I wanted to do, and he told me, "On the path that you are choosing, there is no place for sentimentalism. Even if your near and dear may be killed. Women are of a more sentimental nature, and it may be hard to tread this very difficult path." There was a portrait of the 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh, hanging on the wall of the office where we were talking. I prayed before the 10th Guru and I said earnestly, "Oh, you rider of the blue steed, give me strength that I can fight against tyranny alongside my brother Singhs. If I can't, then tell me why you gave me so much courage and strength, and why you made me a girl. Why didn't you make me a boy?" That professor was very much impressed by my sincerity as I prayed before the 10th Guru, and he decided that I was fit to join the ranks of freedom fighters. He asked me to vow before the picture of Guru Gobind Singh that I would never be captured alive, that if at any time this somehow happened I would stand all the torture and agony I might suffer, but I would never leak any secrets. I took this vow. And so a simple, naive girl from a rural spot became a terrorist in the eyes of Punjab police. I became really sick of the way some of these professors, who tie big turbans on their heads, behave in anti-Sikh fashion. Why don't they have the courage to stand by the teachings of Guru Granth Sahib? I challenged them on this sort of thing. What's the point of all these sacrifices if the consciousness of the people is not raised? One day some time later, I was on my usual routine of taking ammunition from one place to another. I was stopped by a notorious police person who had earned the nickname Gardner or Pestle, since he was fond of a particular torture in which a wooden roller crushed the legs of his victims. He caught me right outside the college complex and said he wanted to frisk me. It occurred to me that if I showed any fear in my reaction, then Pestle and his companions would frisk me and the whole secret would be out. So I made up my mind to deal with this situation with boldness. I said, if you want to frisk me, you have to first show the warrants of my arrest. The police said they didn't have any warrants, but they would frisk me anyway. Then I asked, haven't you read in your police training that if a girl is to be frisked, it could only be done with a woman police present? Without a warrant and without a woman officer around, you can't frisk me. Hearing this bold response, the police seemed to be shaken. I guess it occurred to them that if a young girl like me was not afraid in a situation like this, she must have nothing to hide. At that time, I was 21, but I looked only 16 or 17, as I used to knit my hair in two plaits like children do, and I always wore tracksuits and not women's clothing. Anyway, they let me go, and with God's grace I reached my destination. One of the Singster was disturbed when I told him about this encounter. He said that it could happen again and that I might not be so lucky the next time. It turned out that it was a Hindu shopkeeper who alerted the police to watch out for me. The Singhs told me that if wanted to take revenge on him, it would be okay. I thought about this carefully. I thought that I had escaped from Pestle with God's grace, but I might not be safe in the future. So I decided that some action was warranted. When night came, 2 boys, 2 other girls, and me went out to find the house of that Hindu informant. I used to tell my parents that sometimes we had to practice at the hockey field until late at night, so nobody worried about where I was. But the 5 of us finally got to Lala's shopkeeper's house. His family had gone out to attend a marriage ceremony nearby, and Lala was alone in the house. My 4 companions went ahead, but when I joined them, this Lala looked at me with his mouth wide open in surprise. "Oh, it's you?" he asked. "Why did you complain against me to the police?" I demanded. "The police were not able to get anything out of me, but now I will tell you who I am." Lala started